Hello and welcome to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat. Now, if you own a two-wheeler ride in India, you're required by law to keep it insured. Yet, a majority of us often fail to renew our vehicle insurance, exposing ourselves and others to serious road hazards. According to recent estimates, about 78% of all automobiles sold in India each year are two-wheelers. Yet, close to 45 to 50% of two-wheelers in Indian roads do not even have the mandatory third-party insurance. Now, in this episode, we will be discussing about two-wheelers insurance and understand why it is important for us to consider renewing our motor insurance. Let's welcome Anjala Dheer. She's Director of Policy Bazaar. Welcome to the show, Anjala. Now, tell me, it's a huge gap. Almost 50% of people do not go and renew their motor vehicle insurance after the first year. And why is that?
Arjun, you absolutely said it right. People don't renew their motor insurance despite it being mandatory to do so. And typically the reason is people find it very inconvenient. They find it very cumbersome with all the paperwork, documentation they need to do. Secondly, people say that they don't get any reminders from the insurance company that the policy is due for renewal, and they tend to forget. Another reason is that since the ticket size is small, the agents and the distributors typically don't upsell it because the ticket size is small and they do not get much commission. And on top of it, if you happen to miss out renewing your insurance and the break-in period is there, even more cumbersome organizing inspection, lot of documentation, even at times clicking photographs and sending to the insurance company. So the entire thing, because of the convenience factor, people tend to miss out renewing their motor two-wheeler insurance.
That's rather sad in some ways, isn't it? But I believe some companies are giving a little bit of a relaxation in the case for about 90 days if your motor insurance lapses. Is that true?
Yes, Arjun, there has been a change in scenario. Bajaj Alliance, HDFC Go, Reliance, they've basically set up, a convenient process which is online issuance of such policies, and they have also done away with documentation and inspection, which makes it very convenient for the person, the insurer, to insure his vehicle. And on top of it, though for the insurance companies, it exposes them to a higher risk, but anyway, it adds convenience to the consumer.
So some process has started by the company's proactive steps. What about IRDA? And they seem to have made a lot of strides as far as third-party insurance goes. And what is it in terms of, are there any benefits to the customer buying that insurance, third-party insurance? Is that a game changer?
Of course, Arjun. The change which the IRDA has just announced from 1st April about the third-party insurance, you can renew it for, earlier it was only 1 year, now you can do it for 3 years. It makes it very convenient, just not for the consumer who has to renew his motor vehicle, but even for the insurance companies in terms of collecting the renewal premium. And for the consumer, it's very convenient. You do it once and then you can just, forget about it for 3 years. It also guards you against any increase in cost, because what you're paying right now is the annual premium into 3. So if there is an increase in cost, the insurance company will not pass on that cost to you. And this vehicle, nobody can also cancel the insurance once it's started till the end of the period. So it's very much convenient for the consumer and the insurance companies, the Welcome Act which the IRDA has just announced.
So it's early days as far as the 3-year insurance is concerned. Which are the companies who are actually offering this kind of a package?
As of now, we only have NIA, National India Insurance Company, which is offering a 3-year package. You can do a third party and even a comprehensive cover for 1, 2 or 3 years. And we are confident that more general insurance companies will also join this and, give this facility to the consumer.
Right, Anjala, give us, walk us through the kinds of different motor insurances which are available. You just talked about it, third party, comprehensive. So just expound upon that for our viewers.
Okay, Arjun, basically you have a third party liability insurance. Basically, it is an insurance which covers damage to the third party vehicle or the person who's driving in case of an accident. In the third party liability cover, your own car or your own vehicle is not covered, and it is mandatory to have the third party insurance cover. The second insurance cover is the comprehensive insurance cover, which includes a third party or the liability cover plus your own vehicle damage. It also covers damage to the vehicle because of any natural calamity, threat, etc. or accident which happens. So both the third party and the owner is covered through the comprehensive cover.
What about theft?
Theft is covered in the
comprehensive
cover. It's covered in the comprehensive.
And what determines the premium of your premium in terms of the costs? I mean, what are the factors? The age of the vehicle, of course, I know. What about the other factors?
The age of the vehicle, the make and model of the vehicle, the IDV, the insured declared value, which is the current market value of the car, and the cubic capacity of the vehicle. Basically, these are the factors, and you just mentioned the age of the vehicle, which determine the IDV of the vehicle which has to be insured.
What about the various channels that one can use to buy this insurance? Because you talked about the fact that a lot of companies are not proactively going out and saying, okay, renew your motor vehicle insurance, especially if it's a two-wheeler. What are the, you know, I mean, now it's opening up, internet is opening up. So how does one go about it and renew one's insurance?
See, of course, you have the normal physical distribution channel which you can use. Now, these days, a lot of companies are tying up with distributors to do it. But if you do that, the insurance company, they will only offer you one type of insurance. The most convenient and at the click of the button with internet so widely available is, of course, online policies. You can, and like on policybazaar.com, you have options to compare the various policies and make an informed buying decision about what are the products and features, what is the cost involved, and buy your policy more conveniently.
So it's become pretty convenient. I mean, you don't have to wait for an agent to come. You don't have to go to a showroom. You can actually just go online and you can renew your motor insurance policy. Now, you know, we talked about the fact that 48 to 50% of the people don't renew it after 1 year. Now, that must be a huge number of people who are driving two-wheelers who don't have insurance. Now, you know, how do they go and get that insurance? What is the process? Because we're trying to enlighten them, we're trying to encourage them to say, go out, get it for yourself, for the safety of others, for your family, get that insurance. It is important and it's mandatory under law.
Like we spoke about, you of course have the distributors and the agents, and again the most convenient is, you know, visiting online insurance portal or, you know, policybazaar.com and comparing various policies. And even if your policy has expired, there's a break-in, you have an option to even renew your break-in policy on the online and without any hassles, and inspection is also not required if you do that online by some companies like Bajaj Alliance and HDFC Ergo, with which Policy Bazaar has a tie-up.
So anything to keep in mind while renewing a policy which has been lapsed, especially online? You mentioned online.
Yes, you know, if you are renewing your online policy, you should read the fine print very carefully. When you're renewing the online policy which has lapsed, you will not be covered immediately. There is a gap of 3 days. After 3 days, your vehicle will be insured, and also you need to fill in the correct details. And if you are doing it within 90 days, we will also not ask you details of your previous policy, etc.
What about add-on covers for two-wheeler motor insurance? I mean, is that really useful for, you know, riders of two-wheelers to take that option?
Absolutely, Arjun, especially in cases where your, you know, motorcycle is above 1 lakh. It really comes in useful. Zero depreciation cover, which covers the depreciation of the vehicle. You have a no claim bonus cover. You can look at engine protector, wherein if there is the seizure in the engine, all these add-ons really benefit the insured person.
So in terms of a comprehensive cover, what are some of the, in what events is the insurance not given or not covered?
First of all, depreciation, which is the wear and tear of your vehicle. The second case is mechanical and electrical failure. That is not covered. If somebody is driving without a valid license, then if you're driving outside the geographical area, and then if there is damage, self-inflicted damage due to careless driving, in these scenarios, it's not covered.
Angela, you know, we're talking about two-wheeler insurance and how it's important to go out there and get that insurance if it's lapsed. But, you know, we are getting questions from our viewers, and, you know, one of the questions is about third-party insurance. They're talking about that it keeps going up. And why is that the case?
Basically, the third-party premium, Arjun, is determined by the IRDA. It's based on the cost of servicing the claims, and the insurance companies feel that the current premium rates are not adequate to cover the cost of claims. The average size of the claim has gone up 12% more what is in now as compared to what it was in 2013. So keeping that in mind, the cost of servicing the claim, the size of the claim, the frequency of the claim, and of course inflation, IRDA determines the rate of the third-party premium.
Right. And what about, I mean, would you actually advise people to take third-party insurance as opposed to comprehensive? Because third-party insurance, from my perspective, is a rather limited kind of an insurance cover that it basically fulfills the legal requirement, but it doesn't really protect you from a lot of other issues, a lot of other hazards, dangers that you encounter when you drive.
Absolutely right, Arjun. People tend to take third party because it's cheaper also and it is mandatory, but it is always advisable to take a comprehensive cover because it covers a damage to your own vehicle or accident cover, or if there is theft to your vehicle. And if you take on some add-ons like no claim bonus protector or zero depreciation, they are also very beneficial. So one would really advise going for a comprehensive cover rather than a third party only.
Okay, let's get to the claims process. Now, a lot of people have written to us, have been talking about the fact that, the claims process is a cumbersome process. They want to go out, get their vehicle repaired, they had an accident. How should they go about it? What is the paperwork requirement that they need to submit as far as the company is concerned, so that it becomes a little more easier for them?
First of all, you should always have a valid insurance. That's very important if you want to file a claim. Then you need to, before you undertake any kind of repair, you need to inform the insurance company before the repair happens. At times, if you do it later, then the insurance company will not entertain.
So within what, 24 hours? Or?
24 to 48 hours. And if it exceeds that, then it's up to the insurance company to consider. And once you've contacted the insurance company, they'll let you know what forms to be filled up. These days, all forms are available online, which you can, download and then fill up the forms and take the process further.
So I mean, would you say it's become an easier process than before?
Definitely easier process because you don't have to go to the insurance company to take the forms. You can get them online, and there is awareness how it has to be done.
Right. So let's just reiterate for us why it's so important to have that insurance for everyone, because that this is an important subject, because there's so many accidents taking place, there's so many people dying on our streets, and there's so many people who are getting injured and who don't have that cover.
It is very important. It covers third-party damage, basically to the vehicle, to the person who's driving, plus own damage if your own car or you're hurt yourself, and with add-ons if you take passenger cover, etc. There are a lot of add-ons which will give you further benefits. So insurance should not be ignored. You should definitely renew your insurance on time and have this insurance, which is mandatory.
Right, Anjala, we've got a couple of questions from our viewers. We've got Josefa, who has written, who's asked us that she wants to opt for home insurance for content only. She says her one-bedroom flat in Pune, the society already has insurance, but she wants to know if it is viable for her to opt for a home insurance policy only for content. What are your recommendations to that?
Yes, you can take a home insurance policy only for content, whatever contents like white goods, jewelry, etc. you want to be insured. Camera, you have to declare that what is the value. You will have to determine the value you want to put across, and you can take a contents insurance. You need to keep in mind, in case you need to make a claim at some point in time, you will need to have copies of the invoice. So you should keep the...
So they don't have to be submitted to the insurance company?
They don't have to be submitted to the insurance company, but if claim is made at any point of time, you might require it at that point of time. So keep the invoices intact for the contents.
And we've got Ravi, and he would like to know a little bit about online term plans. He'd like to know whether they are useful, how expensive they are, and also whether it makes sense for him to take a rider for disability with that.
Yes, term plan is a very important plan which everybody should have as part of their insurance portfolio, because if you are the breadwinner of the family and there is an eventuality, you will be able to provide for the family.
And term plans are actually pure insurance plans, right? They don't come with any investment criteria, or do they?
No, if you're taking a pure term plan, then it is only for a pure insurance. If you take ULIPs, they could have a life cover as well as some returns on it.
Right.
And when you're talking about the pure term plan, you should definitely have it, because it will take care of your family's needs if you're not there. Plus, if there are any liabilities that can be paid off with the sum assured that you receive in case of an eventuality. And these days, you have options wherein you can get a lump sum amount, and if you don't want a lump sum amount, you can get some amount at one point of time and remaining amount staggered over a period of time or deferred over a period of time. There are some plans which even give you monthly payout, so that which keeps a regular income for the family available in case of the death of the breadwinner of the family. And you also asked about the disability rider. Right. Yes, there are certain insurance companies which offer disability rider as well, and you must consider that as well. And online policies are cheap, come at a lower premium compared to if you buy it offline, and you must look at, and you're able to research, make a informed buying decision which is the best policy for you. So you should look at comparing and buying when you're looking at buying term insurance.
Right. And Ravi really hasn't given us an indication of his age and all, but would you say it's better to take term insurance at a younger age as opposed to an older age? I mean, is there any financial benefit to that?
Absolutely. First of all, you never know when eventuality will happen. So it's best to cover yourself as early as possible, and your premiums are lower if you take it at a
and they're pretty much
age.
Fixed, right?
And they're pretty much
fixed. They don't
fixed.
go up like a health insurance cover or other insurance covers.
No, they do not go. They do not increase like a health insurance cover as long as the term of the plan is there.
Right. Well, thanks, Anjula, for joining us on Policy Bazaar. Thanks a lot. But it's now time for our quiz question. The question that we asked last week is, travel insurance mandatory in India, yes or no? And the correct answer is no. Tarun has won that 1,000 rupee voucher from us. This week's question is two-wheeler insurance mandatory in India? It's easy enough, the answer, simply yes or no. That's what you have to answer. Send in your queries to queries@policybazaar.com. Thanks a lot once again, and we'll see you next week with another episode of Policy Bazaar. Goodbye.